Module 1. Forensic Science and Criminalistics. Imagine forensic science and criminalistics as two dancers in a complex ballet of crime solving. They move together, yet each performs distinct steps. Forensic science is the grand umbrella, sheltering various disciplines that apply scientific principles to legal matters. Picture a scientist in a lab coat, examining DNA or toxic substances. That's your forensic scientist. They delve into biology, chemistry, physics, and even computer science to seek the truth behind the crime. Now, spin the spotlight to criminalistics. This is the solo act within the larger performance of forensic science. Criminalists focus specifically on processing crime scenes and physical evidence. Their world is one of fingerprints, ballistics, and trace evidence like hairs and fibers. They're the ones piecing together the puzzle of how a crime unfolded, often one microscopic clue at a time. The historical waltz of forensic science. Forensic science hasn't always been the sophisticated field we know today. Its journey began in the 19th century, with pioneers like Alphonse Bertillon and his anthropometry, the practice of measuring body parts to identify criminals. Fast forward to the 20th century, and you'll find the godfather of forensic science, Edmond Locard. Remember his exchange principle: every contact leaves a trace. This idea transformed how crime scenes are investigated. It was a century of monumental strides, from the introduction of fingerprinting to the revolutionary advent of DNA profiling in the 1980s. These developments weren't just scientific breakthroughs, they were detective game changers. A comprehensive crime lab in the criminal justice system is like a beehive of activity, each bee with its specialized task. Picture a bustling hub where evidence from crime scenes is sent for analysis. You've got different units, each a master of its craft. There's the biology unit, dealing with DNA and bodily fluids, the physical science unit, handling drugs, glass, and paint, and the firearms unit, where bullets and weapons tell their stories. Add to this mix units for document examination and fingerprint analysis, and you've got a full cast of forensic experts. These labs aren't just about analyzing evidence. They're crucial in preparing forensic scientists to testify in court. They ensure that the evidence narrates its part of the crime story accurately and convincingly. Beyond the lab, specialized forensic services. The world of forensic services extends beyond the confines of a lab. There are specialized roles, like forensic entomologists who study insect activity on a body to determine the time of death. Forensic psychologists dive into the minds of criminals, while forensic pathologists perform autopsies to uncover how someone died. These specialists are like guest artists, brought in for their unique expertise to shed light on specific aspects of a case. The dance of evidence in court. In the courtroom, forensic scientists transform into storytellers. They take the stand, not just to present evidence, but to make it understandable to the jury. It's a delicate balance of showcasing their expertise and simplifying complex science. They must be convincing yet unbiased, knowledgeable yet clear. The admissibility of evidence in court follows the rhythm set by legal standards. Think of it as a strict choreography, governed by rules like the Frye Standard or the Daubert ruling. These ensure that only scientifically sound and relevant evidence takes center stage in the courtroom drama. Crime scene investigation basics. Let's wade into the thick of things, shall we? Picture the scene. A crime has occurred and the clock is ticking. The first to step into this chaotic world is typically the first responding law enforcement officer. They don't just walk in, they are the sentinels at the gates, tasked with a duty as crucial as it is delicate. Their role? To cordon off the area, preserving it as a sanctum of evidence, untouched and pure. This initial step is critical because, in the world of forensics, contamination is the nemesis. And once the crime scene is compromised, the truth might as well be a needle in a haystack. Now, enter the lead investigator, akin to a conductor orchestrating a symphony. Their role is far from merely overseeing. It's about creating harmony in the midst of potential chaos. Coordination is the keyword here. They must ensure that every team member, from photographers to lab techs, dances to the same tune, ensuring that the crime scene is not just examined, but narrated in its truest form. The lead investigator sets the rhythm for this intricate dance, making sure that every twirl, every step uncovers a part of the story waiting to be told. But what exactly catches the eye of these seasoned professionals? It's not just the obvious, the bloodstains, the weapon, the shattered glass. It's often the subtler nuances, the faint footprint, the barely there fiber, the whisper of a fingerprint. These are the silent witnesses, often overlooked, yet screaming volumes to the trained eye. Particular attention is given to anything that seems out of place or too conveniently in place. It's a game of anomalies, and the prize is the truth. Impressions at crime scenes are like silent witnesses, often overlooked, yet holding crucial information. Experts meticulously preserve, lift, and cast these impressions, transforming them into tangible evidence. These impressions, whether they are of a shoe in mud or a tire on gravel, can often tell us more about the movements and actions at a crime scene than an eyewitness. The search for these clues is not a haphazard scavenger hunt. It's a meticulously planned expedition, each step calculated, each movement deliberate. Various search patterns come into play here, and the choice is as strategic as it is crucial. It could be a spiral search where investigators start at a focal point and work their way outwards. Think of a spider weaving its web, intricate and precise. Or perhaps a grid search, where the area is dissected into imaginary lines, creating a checkerboard of potential evidence. Each pattern has its charm, its method to the madness, ensuring that no stone is left unturned, no clue left behind. The ultimate goal of this elaborate process? It's a trifecta of recognition, documentation, and collection of evidence. Each step is a layer in building a robust case. Recognizing evidence is the first leap, spotting the glimmer of a clue in a sea of the mundane. But recognition alone is a fleeting victory. It must be followed by meticulous documentation, a photograph, a sketch, a note, creating a permanent record of what was once transient. And finally, the collection, the gentle lifting of a fingerprint, the careful bagging of a bullet casing, each piece of evidence, a puzzle piece in the story of the crime. Crime scene documentation techniques. In the meticulous world of forensic science, documenting a crime scene is akin to preserving a fleeting moment in time. Let's embark on this journey of discovery, where every detail is a potential clue, and every clue a potential breakthrough. The art of crime scene notes. Imagine you're at a crime scene. Your first task? Taking detailed notes. But these aren't just any notes. They're the foundation of the entire investigation. They must be meticulous, sequential, and thorough. Start by recording the time and date, the nature of the crime, the location specifics, and environmental conditions. Document who was present, what was said, and any initial impressions. It's a narrative, a story unfolding before your eyes, and your notes are the first draft of this story. Now, recall an eyewitness who you may have spoken with. They're crucial, right? Your notes must capture their accounts with precision. This is where the scene begins to breathe, to speak. Your notes are the voice of the crime scene. Transitioning from pen and paper to the lens of a digital camera, we enter the realm of visual documentation. Modern digital cameras, with their high-resolution adjustable settings and various lens options, are forensic storytellers. They capture the scene in its raw truth without bias or alteration. When choosing a camera, consider factors like resolution, measured in megapixels, lens quality, and the ability to shoot in low-light conditions. The camera must be a reliable witness, one that sees all but alters nothing. Remember, in forensics, a picture is worth 1,000 clues. Creating acceptable crime scene photographs is an art form governed by strict guidelines. Every photograph must be clear, well-composed, and relevant. Start with overall shots to establish the scene, then move to medium-range shots to show relationships between items, and finally close-up shots to capture the minutest details. Historically, techniques like using magnesium ribbon to create highlights for photography were common. It's all about shedding light on the evidence, both literally and figuratively. The camera is your brush, and the crime scene your canvas. Paint it in a way that tells the story accurately and completely. Now, let's talk about composition in crime scene photography. This isn't about creating an aesthetically pleasing image. It's about capturing the truth in a way that can be understood and analyzed. You're composing a visual argument, each image a piece of evidence supporting your case. The angle, the lighting, the focus, every element matters. It's about seeing beyond what's in front of you and capturing the essence of the scene. Video documentation adds another layer to our crime scene story. It's dynamic, it's fluid, and it captures the flow of the scene in a way still photographs cannot. However, with this great tool comes great responsibility. The concern? Maintaining the integrity of the evidence. Videos must be continuous, unedited, and comprehensive. They provide a walkthrough of the scene, a narrative that complements your notes and photographs. Finally, let's not forget the humble sketch. The rough sketch, drawn at the scene, is your initial attempt to map out the area. It's not about being an artist, it's about being accurate. Distances, dimensions, and placements are key. Then comes the finished sketch, a polished version for the courtroom or the case file. It's a visual summary of your investigation, a map leading to the truth.